From the Florida Atlantic Owls, we now transition to another group of Owls here in this conference, the Temple Owls. And we've got Adam Fisher here in his first season at Temple. Last year, the Owls went 16-16 overall, finishing 5th in the American, 8-10 in conference play. We welcome in Coach Fisher to the conference. Coach, great to have you here with us today. A Philly native, how much of this is a dream job for you to be taken over here at Temple?
It's awesome. Being from Bucks County, an hour away from the city, coming back home. My wife's from the city as well, so it's been great. It's been awesome. We're enjoying it and happy to be back home.
What was the history of Temple for us growing up? We're close in age. Sort of. I'm a little bit older. Trust me, in a couple years of being a head coach, you're going to have this much gray, and you're going to lose a little bit too. But what was what do you remember? I remember Mark Macon, Donald Hodge, some of those guys. But what do you remember growing up that, in a way, you bring to the table as a head coach?
You know, you think about Coach Chaney and just the toughness, the grit, Aaron McKee, and you see Coach Dunphy come in. There's just been so many great players, great coaches. So, to me, the tradition's there. That's something that was really exciting. I look up and I see those banners. I tell our team, this isn't the normal. Not every gym has these banners. So that tradition and the pride in Philadelphia, and I think you just saw the city. Temple represented the city, that toughness, that grit that brings Philadelphia together. So we're going to bring that back.
What do you see in the Eagles and the Phillies in particular that you could apply to Temple? Because you talk about that grit. In a way, the Eagles fit that identity. The Phillies, while they're the highest paid team in baseball, they have to lose to become liked again, right? Trey Turner, he gets terrible, and then they build billboards when he's good again. So is that something you can apply to the Temple basketball identity?
It is. I think you see the city come together, and the most important thing, those teams are having fun.
Yeah, they are.
Those guys are enjoying playing together, and you just see the connection and the camaraderie. So we need them to keep winning. I'm excited to see the Phillies tonight. Need the Eagles to keep winning. The city's
good for
excited.
Recruiting.
Yeah, the Sixers are getting going. So it's really great. But I think seeing that team camaraderie and the fun they're playing, it's a game. We got to remind ourselves that sometimes.
Coach, it's cool to get to know you today and to see your personality, knowing you're from the Philadelphia area. You know, I look at like a Coach Dawn Staley and her roots as well. There is something to be said. Gino Auriemma, Muffet McGraw, I believe, also has Philly roots. So what is it about Philadelphia and the great coaching trees that it's produced?
You know, there's so many. I think they all have the passion. I think you just learn early on that this city respects passion. They want to see it. And there's so many that come before. And I think it's great mentorship when you grow up in an area that has so many great coaches in all sports, men's, women's basketball, but across the board. You watch that and you see that growing up and you take from that. I know I did growing up watching on TV, like, oh, wow, Coach Chaney. I might not have the same language that Coach Chaney used when he was coaching, but that passion and energy is everywhere.
What do you think you learned the most from those you worked under, right? Jay Wright, Jim Larrañaga, Micah Shrewsbury. What did you pull the most? Because ultimately you have to coach to your personality. You can't be them. But what did you pull the most that you feel you apply and make you successful?
You know, they each taught me something different, and I was really excited. So I think Coach Larrañaga is my mentor, and he's taught me so much. And you just said it, John, right? Like, he told me, be yourself. Be who you are, and build your foundation. Make sure your players know you care, and treat everybody in a first-class manner. You know, we go around, we get to know the janitors, we get to know the security guards. That's important. It takes a lot of people just to put on a practice, let alone a game. Right. So I want everybody to do it with us at Temple, and that's what I learned from Coach L.
You mentioned the banners, too. Do you think people realize the success, you know, historical success that Temple really has had in basketball? My grandfather was part of one of those, what was it, 57, 58 Final Four teams. So
I think we understand it. I think recruits, it's something we're doing. It's something we spent a lot of time this summer. We brought a lot of former players back. And in our program, if you're a former player, anything to do with our program, you're always welcome. Practice is open. Don't call. Just show up. It's your program. So they've come back and they've spoken to the team about the pride and what it takes to wear that jersey. So that's been great for us.
Good.
You mentioned those players coming back, one of those being Hasir Miller, 3rd year in the program. How does he really fit your style of play and what you're looking to establish here?
He's great. He's Philadelphia. He was kind of the first guy that got it rolling for us. He entered the transfer portal. We met with him. He came back. Super excited that he came back. We celebrated his 21st birthday out here. Not a lot of guys get to celebrate their 21st birthday with their head coach, but that was fun doing it out here at Media Day.
Just as he
just what he thought. But he's been great. The leadership he brings, the toughness, and just his personality. He's a great ambassador for our university.
Does he help you get the shots that you want around the perimeter? Not really known as that knockdown shooter, but you do want to shoot the three. You want to play with great pace. I mean, the programs you came from did a lot of that. There was freedom. There was fearlessness. How does he help you get what you want from a style standpoint?
He's been great. This summer we really focused on that, and we want him to play with more freedom. We want to go. I don't want guys looking over at me. We want to push and run. I know the Crispin family wants to score 100 every game. We're going to try it,
minimum.
But he gets guys good shots, and he knows now he's doing a great job of making better reads. When is it his time to go score? When can he set somebody up? So he's had an incredible summer.
Do you balance the metric side of it with just the feel side of the sport?
Yeah, we're a combination. Right now we do both, so we use a lot of the analytics, but then I'm also a feel guy, so we kinda, if practice is going great, we're going to end early. If practice needs a little bit more work, we're going to stay on that court a little bit longer.
Are you practicing at 6 a.m. like John Chaney did? Come on.
We're thinking about doing it once a year. Once a year. But, I think we're good with the 6 a.m. That was the first question the guys asked me. What time are we practicing, Coach? So we go at 1 o'clock, and they enjoy that.
I mean, look, there was something to it. That was a disciplined team. So how do you find the stability, the discipline, the accountability, the standards by letting them play a little bit?
You know, I think it's important that we harp on the details a lot. We talk about touching the line if there's a sprint. We talk about making sure we're doing all the little things, because all the little things matter. So I think, you know, I wore a Coach Chaney shirt the first day of practice, and I said, this guy set the standard, right? And Coach Litwack before that. So they have to understand that those small things are really important at end of games and throughout the game. So it's been good for us.
Do you have that John Chaney edge, that fire, the John Calipari, John Chaney edge? Come on, like every year somehow that gets played.
This is my first year. I'm going to be really nice to coaches, officials, everybody this year.
What does it mean to be a head coach in the Power 5 as well? Because we're Philly guys. I'm a South Jersey guy, but I might as well be Philly. So what does that represent to you?
It's incredible. You know, my whole career you work to get to this point, and I had great mentors, Coach Ed DeChellis, when I was a student manager. So to work my way up that way, and, you know, it's just a great sense of pride. And then all the text message I got when I got the job. But I told our family, just getting the job's not enough. Now you got to win, right? It's like getting to the NBA, you get drafted, that's great. You got to stay in the NBA. That's the purpose. So we're enjoying it. We haven't lost yet, so everybody's really nice around Philadelphia, so it's great.
Coach, I know everybody's got to be so excited in the Philly area to see your name there. So does that become the priority in recruiting, is to say, hey, we've got great talent right around our city?
Yeah, we do. We have to win in our backyard. We know that. We're going to identify talent early. We want guys to come see campus. That was the biggest thing for me. I hadn't seen campus in so long. We get families there. They can't believe what it's like. So that's been our big selling thing. Come to campus. Come check us out when they're young. But we're also a national brand, so we're going to go recruit wherever there's players. But we got to win in our backyard.
Coach, we appreciate you joining us. Welcome to the American first season. Looking forward to seeing what you do there in Philadelphia.
Thanks for having me. This has been an honor. Thank you, guys.
We now transition to the Temple women, where we've got head coach Diane Richardson in her second season for the Owls. Last year they went 11-8 overall, 6-10 in the American, finishing 9th in the conference, and they are picked preseason number 12. And we have Coach coming to join us right here on the set. Coach Richardson.
Coach Rich. You know, I got to follow Coach Fish. So
how do you follow that? No. Coach, year one for you, it was all about focus on the skill development and keeping poise. You faced so much adversity with the lack of depth that you had last year. Now what's the focus here for year two for you?
Well, now we have a full squad, so, you know, they don't have to put me in. So we've got a full squad. We've got some depth. We've added some impact players as well. So I'm excited about this year. We'll be able to play at our pace, and we'll have depth on the bench.
Coach, Tiara East is one of 2 players back from last year as well, and you mentioned it, right? You just didn't have the bodies out there.
Right.
So now that you do, what does practice look like at this time versus last year at this time?
Well, it's really exciting because there's a lot of chatter. But practice has been going great for us. We want our practices to be harder than it is in a game, and so they're getting used to that. Now we've got, you know, kids that have the stamina to get through, but we also have kids that can come off the bench without a drop-off in talent and skill.
If you can paint that picture for us, you know, as people watching, as fans watching, what does the competitiveness in practice actually show up as in the game? Because maybe something that you couldn't have done last year. I don't think people understand the layers to coaching.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, in practice with us having that toughness, you know, we've got a strong non-conference schedule. So we are trying to get ready for that. And then the non-conference schedule will get us prepared for the American conference. So we're starting out strong so that we can maintain that.
And you can obviously put more in when there is competitive situations play out in practice, unlike you have to wait for a game.
Right, absolutely. And we do situational work every single day. Yeah. And with the amount of people that we have, we can put them in, we can take them out. Yeah. So everybody is ready for their name to be called.
And there's that built-in underlying I control playing time, which is nice. There's someone else behind you. That's a good motivator.
And that's exactly it. Everybody's looking, you know, the returners from last year saw the recruits coming in and they were like, uh-oh. So everybody's got to do their part, and everybody, it's competitive, and so it's the way we want to play.
Coach, speaking of some of those transfers coming in, last year you look at, being 10th in the conference in rebounding, but now you have a reshaped front court. What can you tell us about that group and what you're hoping to get out of them?
Yeah, that was our Achilles heel last year, and I would stand on the sideline, and as soon as I saw the opposing coach put her bigs in, I thought, uh-oh, here we go. But we filled those spots. We've got couple freshmen that are coming in, impact players. Jaleesa Molina from the Netherlands national team is in. She's been doing great in practice. And then we have Rain Tucker, who is now eligible to play this year. So we're excited about the skill there with Rain and with Jaleesa coming in as a young one.
And Aleah Nelson, who I know is with you today, led your team in minutes and points and assists. And also in this world of transfers and portals, so she's on her third school. And there are players who have done that. What do you feel like she's kind of learned from those other two stops that can bring to your program?
Well, actually, the second stop was with me at Towson. Right. So she's a great leader. And when she transferred into Towson with us, we saw the leadership in her. We saw the commitment that she had. And, she's doing a great job this year. Last year, when we were thin with 8 players, she played every minute of every game for the last 8 games.
Wow.
And never complained. Maybe under her breath, but but she's a leader and she's committed to this team.
Well, last year you urged her to be that coach on the court and really be that vocal leader. Now, what are you looking forward to? What's the next step in her growth and maturity that you hope to get from her?
Yeah, she sees the floor a lot better now, and we're going to have her off the ball a little bit. So now the onus is not just on her to bring the ball up and score and all that. So she's playing really relaxed right now.
Now, when the American was founded, it was almost as if it was, teams from all over the place coming together, high-quality programs looking for a good place to start. Well, the American was it. Now it's starting to be more regionalized. Does that put you at a disadvantage or give you an edge?
Well, it actually is an advantage for us because now we can recruit in some of those areas. Right. So, when you're recruiting, they want to know
all about Texas.
Yeah. They want to know if their parents will be able to get to the game. Yeah. So, with this new footprint, we can recruit anywhere and say, yes, of course, we're going to be in your state 3 times.
There's also an ESPN Plus plug in there somewhere for the American on ESPN Plus.
Yes, always.
Yes.
You mentioned parents and kind of switching gears a little bit, but yesterday you were watching your daughter, Jonquel Jones, after they lost that game yesterday to the Aces. As a mother, what did you tell her? What was some of the advice that you give a WNBA superstar?
Well, of course, my coaching hat is on sometimes more than the mommy hat is. So, but, just to keep your head up. And, we deal with those kinds of things, and I'm sure Sandy will go back and watch film and get a game plan together that will help them. Again, it's a championship series, so we expect to play hard and for the opponents to play hard as well.
Well, Aleah Nelson was over there at the desk, and she heard you talking about her, getting her reaction. I saw her throw up the heart hands. She was real excited, big smile on her face.
Vision, though.
Look at the reaction. This was the reaction in real time. Look at this on the monitor here.
Let's go.
It's always on.
That's our bean.
Now we're going to toss it over to Maya Reese, who is standing by with Aleah Nelson to get more from the star for the Temple Owls.
She was all smiles, ear to ear. She was like, okay, coach, but trying to whisper it to not be too loud. It was so funny. So, Aleah, your coach did urge you to try to be a coach on the floor, right? How have you been able to implement that?
It's honestly been like a hard transition, I'm not going to lie, but I'm ready for it, just my 5th year in college and just coaching on the floor, we have a lot of newcomers. Mm-hmm. It's like just vets and newcomers, so just trying to just be confident with everybody, let them know that it's okay, even though if you don't get it the first time, you're going to get it again. And, she's coaching me, but I have to be the coach on the floor. And it's a hard transition, but it's something that I've been preparing for. So.
We talked a lot about your team last season being short-staffed, having 8 players. That is crazy. They said that you even had a player last year play with a broken nose. So just talk a little bit about the resilience of that team.
I think after we had a road game after when we just had 8 people and we played Tulane, and that was like it was a big road win, and I think it just showed us that, you know, we're not really worried about, you know, how many people we have. It's just about what you bring on the court. And Coach Rich says it all the time, like, just give energy and effort. That's something that you can control. Those are 2 things that you can control. And when we kind of centralize on that, you know, just having 8 players didn't really mean as much as just like having that heart and having that like passion for the game. And it was tough, but it was definitely something that brought us much closer. It definitely brought us closer. There was only 8 of us, so it was tough, but it brought us closer for sure.
What's the biggest takeaway you plan on using some of that from last season to bring that same hype energy into this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think it's just going back to energy and effort, just having that no matter who's on the court, no matter what your role. Coach Rich talked about roles a lot. We even had a team retreat where we talked about, you know, what are we bringing to this team? You know, everybody's a puzzle piece. And whether we have 8 or 15 this year, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody brings their own personal thing, but what you can't change is your energy and effort. That's something that you can control by yourself. So I feel like just centralizing and, like, really putting an emphasis on that is something that we need for this season to persevere through the rest of the season.
That's very well said. Now, you were named to the preseason all-conference second team.
Yeah.
What sort of motivation does that give you?
It gives me a lot of motivation. You know, I'm happy that, you know, my name is on the map. You know, being second team, I feel like all the work I put in out of office hours, like when I'm not on the court, when I'm on the court, I feel like I definitely deserve that. But it helps me, pushes me, and it kind of like motivates me to try to get that first team. Definitely try to get that first team this year.
And then to be the only Owl last season to start all 29 games, to lead that team in minutes, right? For you, what motivates you every single game to get out there and give it your all?
Honey, I'm tired. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's it motivates me to give everything I have for the team. You know, this is my last year, 5th year. Oh gosh, yeah, this is my last year, so definitely it doesn't matter how many minutes I play. It could be 40, it could be 20, it doesn't matter. But I think I'm gonna give it my all every time I step on the court. Every time. It's my last year. This is it. So I'm excited though, and it doesn't matter about the time. I'm gonna play. Whatever she needs me to do, whatever coaches need me to do, whatever the players need me to do, I'm gonna do it for sure.
Being that it is your last season, what is your big goal for this season for both yourself and then for your team?
Championship. That's the answer for myself and for the team, because, you know, team first. You know, yes, first team is cool, but I'd rather get a championship. That's the goal. We talk about it every day. We say championship on 3. That's my personal and my main goal, is to win that and get a ring and get out of here on a high note. So.
And then being that you're on the court trying to be a coach for some of your teammates, what is it that you look for in them or try to bring out of them?
Consistency and energy. I mean, I'm not looking for them to make every shot. I'm not looking for them to be perfect on the court, because that's unrealistic to ask. But, you know, you can talk every day. You know, that's what the coaches talk about. Use your voice every day. You can talk and bring energy. Those are the 2 things I expect from everybody every day. I don't expect them to make shots. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to get every play right. But what you can get right is your energy and your effort.
Perfect. Aleah, thank you for your energy and your effort. Working back to you.
You can see why Aleah Nelson is nicknamed Bean, because of that energy.